Let's do this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly? I think we're just getting started.
Medic!
I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 747, the Overseas Connection podcast. Today is August 20th, 2023, and we are just a humble video game podcast that talks about video games, we talk about life, we talk about all kinds of stuff, but we are, self-admittedly, older, wiser. We can buy our own beer, so there's that. We do this every Sunday. 9 p.m. in the UK, 1 p.m. on the West Coast, 4 p.m. in the East Coast. And if you happen to be out in the sticks, also known as the Central Time Zone, it's 3 p.m. there. We're on Twitch. We are on YouTube. And I say we mostly do this on Sundays because every once in a while we throw a curveball at you and we do a Saturday show. We might do a Friday show, but for the most part, always Sundays. My name, again, Greg DeLacy, gamertag Murphy's Law, OC_Murphy's Law on Twitter. Before I go any further, I want to introduce my co-host today, Mr. Robin Italiano Tate.
Buenos Aires, everybody. I'm back. Too much beer that I could buy myself.
It's good to have you back, Robin.
Yeah.
Good to have you back.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into the loveliness that was your getaway or craziness, depending on how you want to look at it. I would be remiss if we did not say happy birthday to one Susan Lindenhall. She is turning a year younger, apparently. It goes back in time. But she has a birthday coming, or actually just passed on the 19th. And then Amar Parvez on the 21st. Birthdays to both of them. So with that, we need to sing a happy birthday song for them, Robin.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Insert name here. Happy birthday to you.
Gentleman was not recognized.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. The lovely happy birthday. And let's just dive into story time.
Hooray, story time. Hooray, story time. I'm so glad to be with you today.
Robin,
Yeah, you're still
you
here.
have been on quite the excursion.
It was a bit of a trip. Yeah, 3 families, 1 billion kids, temperatures nearly in 100 degrees for the American folk. Lovely villa, nice pools, kiddie pool, up a massive hill, which definitely you got your leg work in every single day. I did do some rather fantastic things, and the highlight, I think, for the whole trip for me was a Daddy Sunday to the Monza racing track near Milan, and we had a Ferrari type car, well, from the Ferrari stable. Well, it was a Fiat 500. Yeah, but it was fun. So we drove the 100 miles up to there, and we done the tour of the fantastic, they call it the Temple of Speed, up to about 2 years ago before the Jeddah circuit was built. It was the fastest race circuit in the world, and one of the three oldest, the 3 being trans-Atlantic circuits. We have Brooklands, which doesn't really exist in the UK anymore, being the oldest. Then you have Monza and Indianapolis, with the 3 oldest circuits, racing circuits in the world. So we got the full tour behind the scenes in the pit lane, in the director's boxes where they do the press conferences, got lots of photographs, and then we got a lap of the actual circuit. Now, in about 4 weeks' time, the race is actually in Monza, the Formula One race, and it's amazing how much work has to be done there. Now the
Really?
Yeah, I mean none of the signage is up. No, you know, there's lots of grass needs cut, lots of painting needs done. I mean,
It needs a bit of a
it's bare
facelift.
bones. It's bare bones track. I have to say the hairs stood up on the back of my neck going round that track, and that part was super. But the part that was better than even that, so historically, Monza was built as an oval track, replicating some of the stuff that was going on in Indianapolis, the bank track. But due to a slight miscalculation, Boomer, Matthew, miscalculation in angles, the banking of the oval was made at 78 degrees, which is pretty much upright. And these cars
extreme.
in the 50s and 40s were doing 200 miles per hour with no safety belts. These tubes of cars were absolutely crazy, and so many people were killed at it. And late in the 50s and into the 60s, they changed the layout of the track, but not all of the banking was taken down. Now, there's parts of the banking that are still left in the forest, and as you drive around the track, you can see some of it, but it's completely out of bounds.
I want to say, wasn't there a Grand? No, it wasn't that Gran Turismo. What's the? I'm drawing a blank on the British driving show.
Top Gear done parts of it.
Top Gear, thank you.
They use
they
they use small sections of it. It's still there,
Okay.
but you couldn't drive the whole oval any longer. It's gone.
Okay.
So Charlie and I, after the event, we said, look, I've read up, but there's places you're supposed to be able to sneak into this.
Right.
So we parked the car outside the main place and walked through this lovely. Monza is a little village, and the circuit itself is in a park, in an open park where people take to walk their dogs. Massive, massive park. So we parked in a car park there, and we walked down to where we thought, we'll get in here, and there's a few little side roads. But maybe it's because it's a month away from the main race, and there's lots of work going on around the track. But at the point of every gate, at every of these little side roads that would bring you down towards the old circuit, there were security guys.
Okay.
So Charlie and I took to the woods, and we snuck in between two security guys, and literally, I mean, the woods were completely overgrown with brambles. Absolutely. My legs are still cut to shreds. Like, Charlie, what the hell? And we cross-countryed probably about half a mile through this thick underbrush with goodness knows what. Now, 3 or 4 weeks ago, there'd been a big storm in Italy. Massive hailstones the size of baseballs. Lots of cars we seen had big pock marks all over them.
Right.
And lots of trees were down in this park. Now, the height of the banking's about 35, 40 feet at the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to the back of the banking, and one tree had fallen down over another tree. And the only way we could get up here was to climb this wrecked bust tree, climb on another tree, and then get to the top of this. Now we're now 35 odd feet up, and climb over the Armco, and it's a 78-80% drop down to the bottom of the track, and which you couldn't stand up. There's no way. I mean, you'd be standing like that.
Right.
So sit on our backside, and Charlie's going, as we climb over, Dad, we're never going to get back up. He says, we're here. Let's just do it anyway. So we sat our arse down and slid on our backsides and then ran down to the bottom. And we were in this section, probably about a quarter of a mile of this track in this beautiful wood with the nature taking back the track. And we sat there, and we shouldn't have been there. I've done a little live YouTube video.
Did you take any pictures?
I did, yes, I have, and I'm going to put a video together for the day. So there is a video. I've done a live stream from sitting on the banking, just a couple of minutes, and it was so quiet and so peaceful, and just the history of the people that had been on that track over the years. You know the top guys of the 50s and 60s, just absolutely. So that was awesome. And then we had to climb back up again and climb down this bust tree. And, every insurance policy that I had, if I had something had went wrong, there is no way it was getting covered. So I have to say it was a fabulous day anyway. But that experience for me being on that track, and even better still, doing something naughty with my 17-year-old son, it was a fantastic daddy son day as well. So that was epic. That was epic. So that was one of the things that we got up to. I had talked before about going, and my wife had bought me Crocs, and I'd never earned any Crocs before in my life. I hate Crocs now with passion. Hi, Kim and Boomer. It's funny how those two arrive in the chat at the same time. Get a room. Get a room.
I don't want to say anything.
Anyway, so I had these black Crocs, which I wore to the pool.
Right.
Okay. And about halfway through the holiday, the Crocs split. And they
split?
Yes, on the side, on one of the left shoe. And Boomer always comes first. Yes, that's correct. And I am quite happy to say that the Crocs are still in Italy right now. They will never don my feet, and I shall never ever don my feet ever again.
Yeah, Crocs, they are an acquired taste. We covered this before. We talked about it. I see the value of them being like a pool shoe, for the pool deck. To just like flip flops. It's not something you really want to wear for long periods of time.
No.
Some people though, they love their Crocs. I mean, they wear them everywhere. And
Well, we went on, what day is today? Sunday. So on Thursday, we went to a big water park. Which, and again, even in itself, so there's two main sort of theme parks in that part of the world. One's called Gardaland, and this one was called Canavera or something like that there. And it has a water park, and it has Hollywoodland. And it is, so Gardaland's the bigger one, and we went to the water park, and I paid a ridiculous amount of money, and I hope Judith's not listening, for a lovely big cabana, and bottle of champagne, and lovely seated area. And there was the one next door to us was called the King Cabana, and it had a jacuzzi, and the Russians or the Ukrainians were in it, So, but it was fabulous. But that whole park, it's a complete and utter poor rip-off of everything in California or in Florida. So they had a rock cafe, which is
not Hard Rock Cafe, just
the
a rock
cafe.
Right.
And the people's handprints on the wall, but with no signatures, and it's sort of guitars, but God knows who they were by. And they had the Hollywood Studios bit, and which wasn't really it, but they had the Tower of Terror, but it was the Hollywood Tower. So the lift that drops down,
right,
and the letters crack, and so it was called the Hollywood Tower, but it was everything was almost a rip, just a pure rip off. And what is the place you go, the restaurant that you have all the animals? The forest one.
The Rainforest Cafe.
Rainforest Cafe. It was the Forest Cafe, and it looked exactly the coloring and everything. It's just and it was a good day, a good fun. But yes, that day I wore my Crocs. We took a bus, the 5 or 6 miles to there, and I wore and we walked down to the bus, and we got off the bus, and we spent the whole day and back again, and my feet are cut off me, and I'm so glad. So glad those are in the bin. I hate Crocs. They were horrible. Absolutely horrible. And finally,
I mean, people swear by it. They say they're the most comfortable shoe ever.
Oh, no.
I don't see it personally.
No.
But,
and one thing, mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
So everybody else was getting bit all around them, and I'm going, and they're spraying stuff on everywhere and all this thing. No, they don't like me. And I maybe had one little bite, and they're all scratching away. But you see, yesterday and today, whether I was bit or not, I am so itchy on my legs. My legs.
Oh, really?
It's just, I want to scratch. But yeah, but supposed to being beside a lake, that's humidity sort of stuff. Yeah, but no, good holiday, good break, nice to get away, but always nice to come home. 10 days is long enough when you have a load of kids. You know?
I can only imagine. And it was not just a load of kids. I mean, you had like the entire family of kids, 3 families worth.
And you're
of
trying to please everybody, and
oh yeah,
and I'm that sort of guy that
that's
goes,
work.
you know,
That's work.
You know, I want to go to the water park, but none of the other ones didn't because, well, I didn't want to spend money. I hired a car to go to Monza. No. All that sort of stuff, you know. I hired a cabana. I went, let's get another bottle of champagne. Come on.
Now, please tell me you did this. They didn't want to do the cabana. You're like, fine, I'm going to do the cabana. And then once you got the cabana, if they tried to come over, you're like, sorry.
No, they weren't. They didn't even come. They did their own thing. So at that point I go, frigate.
Yep. Enjoy your time.
Yeah. So that Le Mans. So finally I'll finish off. Or you want to have a chat? You have a chat. I have a little message to answer here. So I'll listen. You chat.
Okay, fair enough. I will chat away. Well, one thing, going back to the mosquito thing, I find the most infuriating thing about mosquito bites is you can get them, and like half the time you don't realize you have a mosquito bite, and then you see it and you touch it, and the moment you touch the freaking thing, suddenly it begins itching like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if you had just left it alone, you would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's that chemical reaction with the crap that they throw in when they're sucking your blood. Yeah, it drives me nuts. And mosquitoes absolutely love me.
We were standing at the bus stop going on our way home that night. Jasmine had been brilliant. Good girl. She had a great day. It was all good fun. And as you do, you talk to the people, complete strangers at the bus stop. Well, maybe I do.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a lot of people don't talk at bus stops, Robin.
Yeah, well, these people were from Iceland, which was really cool. And he was showing me his mozzie bites, and they were friggin' massive. And I said, well, what, temperature-wise there? He says, no, we never get this. It was good. So I asked about Bjork, of course. She says, why don't everyone ask about Bjork? Bjork's not big. She was never big. She's big in us. So, okay, what about the movie then about the Eurovision contest? The Eurovision, which was called Eurovision. Yeah. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Don't talk. This is the only two things you know. Yeah, well, and volcanoes. Yeah, so, they were nice people. I never met Icelandic people before.
And what cracks me up, and I mean, I'm going to oversimplify this, but the realities are Iceland is mostly green, and Greenland has a lot of ice. Go figure. Yeah.
That's maybe worth going and having a look to try and find out, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. The Crocs are dead.
Crocs are dead.
You had a nice time with Monza.
I had a nice time.
Vegas money paid off for the Cabana.
Yes. Yeah. No. So I've been a loyal. I've stayed away. I've got a lot of Apple products over the years, and I've never had an Apple Watch. So my Fitbit watch died while I was there.
Ah, yes.
So I thought, I need to get something.
Right.
So I sat and researched, and on Friday I ordered from my sunbed at the side of the pool a new Apple Watch, and it was waiting for me at the door when I arrived home. And it's a very interesting piece of kit. So
yeah,
I know they're
now
common,
talking to your wrist.
They're common as muck everywhere, but
yeah,
it seems to do a bit more than the Fitbit watch, but
it's the Dick Tracy future, Robin. You literally can talk into your wrist. You can have conversations just like the two-way.
You can see me do these finger movements to control your watch by hand. You can switch on. You can pinch your fingers, and that's good. I'm not going to do that in the middle of the street.
Pretty much. I gave up on those things.
No.
All right. Are you liking the new watch?
Yes. Well. My eyesight is crap. So you know what I mean. When I wear glasses, I don't wear glasses when I leave this room. I only wear glasses for up close. I don't watch TV in the house with glasses on. I only use it for reading. So so I had to up the font size. So, on it. So I haven't really got to grips with it all yet, but it seems like a nice piece of kit. I'm not quite sure about the clock faces yet.
So I have a Galaxy 4 watch, and there's a lot of great features to it. I love the health tracking stuff. So like if you start running or doing walking and that kind of thing, it'll track it and it
like
kind of monitors that. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. But I do find it super useful tying into my calendar. So calendar alerts will pop on your wrist. At one point, it actually tied into the GPS on my phone. And so as I was like driving, whatever, the turn directions would come up on my wrist as well, which is kind of handy when you had your.
So you look at the wrist rather than the screen.
And then I don't know what the hell I did. It no longer does that.
Okay. And you're old now and you can't work it out anymore. Yeah, that's what it is.
I also do find it really handy when there are times where I can't talk on a phone. Like putting the phone up to my face is just
and you
not
Dick Tracy
viable.
it?
Yep, I'll Dick Tracy it.
Now, the research that I did, there's a brand new...
Interesting question.
That was interesting.
Okay.
It almost sounded like Fraser Moore's in the background.
Didn't
it?
it?
I don't know why.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
I did my research, and there's a brand new watch out of the Apple Ultra, which is a sportsman's watch, about twice as thick and big as the normal Apple watches. Rah! Didn't buy that one because I thought, well, it'd be ridiculous. Oh, it was a watch talking to me.
Yeah, they had like the rugged version of this too, but I ended up not going with that because it just felt too big and bulky.
So I done my YouTube research, and there's a Series 7 and a Series 8. And the differences between the Series 7 and the Series 8 are, one, the Series 8, useful thing if you have a car crash. It analyzes that you stopped a bit too suddenly, and it phones someone to tell them, hey, Robin's dead, come and collect his body. So it does that. And the second thing that it does it differently from the 7 is that it monitors when you are ready to be impregnated.
Oh, well, that's perfect. Thank God you have that on your watch.
So I thought, well, I don't really need that. So I went for the Series 7 rather than the 8. So if I die, it's normal things will have to happen, and I won't know when somebody can get me pregnant. So that's no big loss.
I'm sorry to hear you will not find out when you're ovulating, Robin.
Yes, that's the word.
That is funny. All right. Real fast. The chat is pretty active. I see Boomer. I think I saw CPM Matthew in there earlier as well. Gamer Girl's there. Harley Dan's there. So hello to everybody.
Kim's asking about the sheep. So while we were away, my son sent me a photograph of our garden, and it had sheep in the garden. And there was about 20 sheep. And I phoned, and of course, when I was away, I put the photograph up on WhatsApp of the sheep being there, and I laughed my nuts off when the reply immediately came, Stanley? ? As I was phoning Stanley to say, hey, Stanley, there seems to be sheep in my garden. Have you any idea what's going on? And he went, oh, I'm looking out now. There's no sheep there. But so when I seen Joshua, he was out working when we came home yesterday. He came home late last night. He says, no, they walked down the driveway. They ate most of the flowers of all of our new plants. They stayed there for about half an hour, and then they walked back up the driveway. Now, you know my driveway is, it's 150 feet, 200 feet long. And they came down it, and they went into the garden, munched some stuff, and walked off by themselves.
They were purposeful. Yeah.
So we do not know what happened to the sheep. Local farmers were found or called, and they were looking for the sheep. So maybe there is a band of ravaging sheep,
rogue sheep,
heading your way.
A gang of sheep are on the loose.
They're bad. Don't you know it? You know. Oh, Shimon. Oh yeah. So that's it. That's so yeah. I've been active, and I'm back. I'm funny through the holiday. You can hear like a frog in my throat. And I don't know what it was, whether it was the temperature or whatever, but I seem to be an octave or two lower, and it's nothing to do with the audio effects. I don't know. So I seem to have...
I thought you might have a little touch of a head cold or something happening.
Maybe, yeah. That could be it too. And it's just back cold. It's back into this dreek, damp weather. But yeah, we came home, and the painters had been in, and they have the hall, stairs, landing, all done. Skirting boards, glass, doors, all done. That's lovely to come home to that. So there's a bit of room changing about to go on over the next little while. So it It's good. Now, on to the next one. On to the next holiday.
On to the next holiday. Well, speaking of holidays,
Yes.
Colin started school,
Ye unbelievable.
and high school.
Yeah.
This is the crazy thing. High school.
Yeah.
I still cannot believe I'm saying my son is in high school. So that was kind of crazy. A little bit of panicking leading up to it, because my son has special needs. He requires different kinds of transportation, and we had everything ironed out with the previous school. It was like clockwork. It was all like there, set up, done, and with the new high school, it was kind of transitioning into a different district, and
Okay.
so. The people that normally would pick up my son after school and take him to the daycare center where he gets his medication in the afternoon, they call me up 2 days before school starts. And she's like, hey, we were told we were going to get a call from the county person back on the 27th of July. And now we're a couple days away from school starting and we haven't heard from them.
Ah,
And I'm like, fuck.
transport.
I'm like, all right. So start making phone calls. I'm tracking people down. I literally tracked down the county person that was supposed to have called, or the one we were told was going to be making the phone call on LinkedIn. So utilizing my work connections, the whole 9 yards. I set off enough fire alarms and bells. We got it all ironed out with a day to spare. But it had me a little nervous leading into it. But it all worked out great. Probably one of the funny highlight moments. We decided we were going to drive Colin to school for his first day. And so on our way to school, as we're just literally leaving our house, as we're driving, Cindy spots a neighborhood dog. And we've seen the dog before, but not on a leash. It's just roaming around in the street. So we stop. Cindy's like,
Shit.
we need to find his home.
Oh, I thought you shot it. No.
No, we didn't shoot the dog. We actually brought the dog into the car.
It's just why it wasn't Kim.
We took off. We didn't see any owner, mind you. We did look up and down the streets trying to see if there was an owner about that just, he got off the leash or something. Nothing. So dog goes into the back of the truck. We go to the high school, drop my son off to high school, spend some time with the teachers there, talking to them. Meanwhile, the dog's in the car, literally licking every window in the car. Then we come back to the neighborhood, and we at this point did find the owners. They were looking for the dog frantically all over the place because we kidnapped their dog for a half hour. But they were thankful because the dog had definitely gotten out. And so that was kind of the highlight to his first day of school. My son still could not, he could care less about animals.
No.
The dog was trying to be a friend with him.
Well, two things. In Italy, I have never seen as many arsehole humans pushing dogs around in prams. Just everywhere. They had prams. They had little trailers on the back of bicycles with the dogs in them. They had proper prams. Just nutty. Anyway, and the second thing then is Glenn. Glenn has now officially finished school completely and utterly, and tomorrow morning we've got a daycare centre for him. And tomorrow morning, Judith is taking him to his first daycare center, so adult daycare center. So yeah,
just more transition.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And by the way, I saw that picture of Charlie. You shared a picture.
Oh
of your
yeah,
son, Charlie.
yeah. We're out for dinner. Yeah,
I could not believe how much he has grown.
Yeah,
he is officially a young man now. He's no longer a kid. He's a young man. But in my head, he will always be that young little man.
I'm not. Argued in Alcatraz. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's. I mean, if he had stayed on to do the further exams, the A levels as we call them in the UK, if he had stayed on and went to uni, would he still have kept more of a schoolboy demeanor about him?
Right.
I think it's the year of working in a trade that is, and working with big men, burly men, and plumbers and builders, and I think that makes you grow up pretty quickly. So,
100%.
Dan, I did not go down on a Frenchman. Oui. He went down on me. Anyway.
All right. a couple other things. We have officially begun Halloween preparation.
No way.
Oh yeah, Cindy is like, what we need to get ahead of this. So we have been thinking through our theme. We have what we believe to be the theme in mind.
Can you tell us?
And I don't. I could say I could tell you, but then I might have to kill you.
Viciously murder me.
I just heard through the walls say nothing. So yeah.
Okay, well,
so
that's a poll.
Other than preparation has started, we are now scouting the front of our house.
He's going to make a clean
design,
room, like a plastic place to murder people in.
I think a plastic place to murder people in would be fantastic. That could be fun. But no, probably not the theme we're going with this year. But it will be very different from what we've done in the past. At least that's the hope and the desire.
10%.
So
there we go.
that is all happening.
10% of battery left. There you go. The first time ever full charge. That's crap.
How long does it? Yeah, that's a question to ask. How long does your battery your
a day? I think
charge for
a day. That is.
Yeah.
From yesterday.
Yeah. I can get about 2 days out of my watch, but what I ended up doing, which I highly recommend you do this, is
switch a load of shit off.
They have what?
Switch a load of crap off on it.
No, actually. It's there will be wireless chargers you can buy where you can just put your battery, your phone, your watch right over the top of it.
I've ordered one. Should be here tomorrow.
Get one that's elevated.
I have.
And the reason why I say that is the straps on the watches, sometimes they sit funny and it just doesn't sit flush. Even though it's a little magnetic, it'll pull it down. Makes it easier. Human centipede. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I've ordered one that charges phone and watch and earbuds. If you ever, it's a 3-way. It's a 3-way. There you go. That's feeding the masses.
Last thing, yesterday, my good friend Brad invited us to go wine tasting.
Oh, pretty good.
And so
we
went to Livermore, which is about a 2-hour drive away from us.
Did you have fafa beans?
We did not.
Okay.
We had no fafa beans. We did have a lot of salami. We had a lot of crackers.
I love
that. We had a lot of wine. Okay, I should say a lot of wine. We drank a lot of wine at the first winery. The second winery wasn't that good, and so we scaled back on that a little bit. But we ate a lot of food at the second winery, so that kind of helped us just for the sobering up side of things. But we bought like $450 worth of wine.
Wow, I've drank that this week. That's maybe what's wrong with my throat. I had a fabulous pizza on the last time, which I'd never have. It was beautiful pizza. Place recommended to chap that we ran the bar.
You make me hungry.
And it was your tomato base, right? But it had Parma ham.
Okay.
Lovely Parma ham all over it, and big blobs of fresh mozzarella, mozzarella. And then what I never had was like a chopped pistachio nut all over it.
Okay.
And it was, I've never had that before. It was pretty extreme. And one of the best ice cream that I had, gelato, when I was there, one that I'd never had before, it was new on me, was a dark velvet chocolate with ginger. So it was dark brown.
Interesting. So you were eating Pete.
With chili. So you had this beautiful dark chocolate and ginger ice cream, and then about 30 seconds later, you got the warmth of the chili, which was really, really interesting. Okay. I thought that was really cool.
All right. I like that.
There you go. There you are. Food,
right. I
drink.
think that's everything on the story time. Okay. So let's talk about some video games.
Shall we play a game?
I want to play a game.
Ooh.
You are one pathetic loser.
I am. Okay, gaming.
Yeah, I just want to point out that Kim and I were on the same page about eating Pete.
Yeah,
in the chat.
I'm confused. Is that Pete the Boatman or Pete the what?
Pete the ice cream flavor.
Oh, that Pete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm going to start.
Right.
I'm going to start first. I am.
Okay. Yeah. Start.
So I played something that
revolutionary.
Yeah, something modern and something that made me smile and made me laugh, and I absolutely loved it. And I played.
Have you played this before?
Yes, twice.
Okay,
but a long time ago. And when you and the game I'm talking about is Portal 2. and I played it on a Switch that I brought with me, and I've played, I don't know, probably about 3/4 of the way through, and just that game probably is one of the most near perfect experiences in a single player ever. The multiplayer thing is fantastic too, but on the Switch it translates really, really well. But the humor of it, the quality of it, the writing of it is just brilliant. And I didn't remember the puzzles really. Yes, I had an idea what the green and the orange gun hold did, but it's the funniness of the chat in it. I mean, if there wasn't the chat in it, it would still be a good fun puzzle game. But the chat from your man Stephen Merchant just makes it, and it is. I remember at the time where you talked about Portal, about it's just hard enough to make you think, but it's not too hard that makes you feel stupid. It makes you feel kind of clever when you solve it and go, that's what it is. Right. That's the solution.
Well, I think, and that's a really important thing that developers need to understand when they create these puzzles. Because there are puzzles you come across where the solution is so obtuse. It's like only like a small percentage of people are going to get that without using a guide.
A wiki, yeah.
Whereas Portal 2, if you just kind of sit and think with it, you can get it.
Yeah.
And you do, and you feel you've there's an achievement to that, a victory achieved, if you will. So Portal 2 is brilliant with that. And the writing, let's face it, the writing in Portal 2 is phenomenal.
So thoroughly enjoyed my time with that. And will I finish it off? I don't know. But it's handy to pick up on the Switch. I can tell you one thing, it's better on the Switch than the Steam Deck. Is instant. Really? Pretty much instant on, away you go, no farting about. Oh. It is a simple device. Yeah. And with a game like that works so well on it, super duper. I played a bit of that, the bro thingy, the bro potato.
The fake Vampire Survivor.
Yeah, and it is a fake Vampire Survivor. It didn't hold me.
Let's talk about Vampire Survivors in a minute after you.
Yeah. I'm done with Portal. Portal's wonderful. If you have never played Portal, and there's bound to be people out there that haven't played Portal or Portal 2, skip. Well, you don't. Portal 1 is fantastic. Doesn't look just as good. I suppose there was a read high def version. But you could pick both games up for, I think it was about £6 or £7 for both. And if you've never played any of the Portal games, shame on you. But if you haven't, if you're that generation that you just missed it or whatever, Portal 2, Stephen Merchant does the commentary. He's an AI character robot sort of thing in it that helps you through each of these testing labs. But it's so funny and so good and such a well done game that do yourself a favour and play it. It still looks fabulous. It doesn't look like an old game and probably never will. So pick that up and play it. Anyway, what were you saying?
Well, so I was thinking about Vampire Survivors, and this, I think this was spurred from a comment that Pete had made in the last week's show when we were talking about your bro. What was the name of the game again?
Brotato.
Brotato.
Yeah.
So one of the criticisms I think a lot of people threw at Vampire Survivors is, you don't do anything, you don't shoot anything, you don't actively do anything. And I thought to myself, you know what? One of the most iconic, greatest games of all time is basically, I mean, it's actually not even it's a dumbed down version of Vampire Survivors. Pac-Man. You don't do anything in Pac-Man. You're cruising around a maze. You're avoiding being eaten by ghosts. You occasionally get a power up. It makes you be able to eat a ghost. But for the most part, you're just running around that maze trying to avoid being eaten. That's what Vampire Survivors is. You're running around this big open space trying to avoid being killed. You collect power-ups that enable you to kill the vampire or the creatures coming at you. But ultimately, you're just running around avoiding the monsters.
There is one slight difference.
I don't know about that, but go ahead.
It doesn't go waka waka waka.
But it does give you that sound effect that is that pellet feeder of hearing the creatures popping as you're killing them.
Okay.
So I feel like they actually have a lot in common, even though, I mean, on the surface, you certainly wouldn't think they would.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
That's my Vampire Survivor rant.
So
I still love that game. It's a great game. I do plan to go back and play some more of it just as a
as a you
Palate
pick up and play sort of thing, quickie,
Yeah.
a quickie on the plane in the airport, whatever it is. Yeah.
I will go in order just to help you out, Robin, so you know. Diablo 4.
Here we come.
So I absolutely loved this game. The story was fantastic. It is not perfect. I would say the grind, and I don't know it's the game's fault per se, but there is, the grind of the game over time, it'll wear on you. However, I think part of that is on me because I really did choose to grind away leveling up my character. Once I got past level 50, I was, finishing out the game was relatively easy. Now, granted, I was in World Tier 2. I wasn't in one of the, you can't go past World Tier 2 until you beat World Tier 2. But I felt like I kind of overpowered myself for the final boss fight. Because, there was no challenge for that final boss battle for me.
Just give it up like a Frenchman.
Yeah. It was easy peasy. But the story was fantastic. I really did enjoy the story to this game, and I think it sets up nicely for future DLC, for continuation of the game. I am not necessarily. I'm at a crossroads with the game of, am I done with it? Do I want to start a new character? And I don't know where I'm going with that. Because part of me likes the character I have and just continue on with them, but also there is that grindy part of it where like I've kind of done everything I can do with this character in terms of, I think, what I would want to in terms of abilities. So
okay, it sounds like you've got your money out of it. With Kim and Mark and yourself, have played this to death. Mark has done his usual Mark thing, which is play it until his fingers fall off. Until he plays it to 3 a.m, and he's absolutely destroyed with it. And then, so if I go back to Portal, it's about such a good game. You rushed through it, and it was done. And I am back going, I don't really remember this, And I think I played the previous Diablo 3 in the same way, I must have finished that single player game 4 times. Ranking my up into the insanity levels and stuff like that there, and this seems bigger again. So,
yeah, I could see myself maybe starting up a new character, trying to go through World Tier 3. I also probably, again, I think one of the things I did wrong was because I did so many side missions. I did grind a lot early on in the game. Mm-hmm. Now, the game does level with you, so it's not like you're getting a big advantage by going up in level for most of the game. But when you get to that final boss area, the final boss battles, being over level 50 definitely helps you. So I wonder if, I didn't do as much grinding and I kind of leveled up more slowly but focused on the story, I would have maybe kind of enjoyed the challenge a little bit more.
There's that too.
But overall, Diablo 4 was a fantastic game. Really enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed the story, which I felt the story in this felt far more fleshed out than the previous Diablos. There was story there, mind you, and I know that it was all there, but I felt like the cutscenes in this, both in-game asset cutscenes as well as the big CGI cutscenes, were just really well done. So I enjoyed my time with Diablo.
Good. Well, I'll get there eventually. I think I will.
Yeah.
Okay.
I dabbled a little bit with Everspace 2.
Tell me about Everspace 2.
Yeah. So, the first Everspace was much more of a roguelike experience. So you would go through and play until you basically died, and then you would kind of start again, but you had your capabilities unlocked. This time around, it's much more of an action RPG game. So it doesn't have that roguelike element to it. It is a space shooter sim light. I'll say sim light in that, it gives you some of that feeling of like, I'm trying to remember the game that Mark loved to play. It was a space shooter and it's escaping, but I will tell you in a second.
Elite.
I have it.
Elite
Dangerous, yes. It has some of that vibe to it, but the flight controls in Everspace 2 are much more akin to a first-person shooter. You can strafe and kind of
simple,
like a hook spin,
arcadey type thing.
Yeah, very arcadey.
It's like a Battlestar Galactica type space battle.
Yeah, a little bit.
Flicking it around and throwing it around.
Yeah. This version though does allow for different, kind of space trucking, as well as it's not going to be a Starfield.
But is that why you were playing it?
What was that?
Is that why you're playing it, to get a bit of Starfield prep?
A little bit, but also I liked the premise of the first game. I wasn't crazy about the roguelike side of it, so this game offers up that more RPG-like experience. And one of the interesting parts about it also is that they say that they're kind of bringing you to the battles are more moment to moment. Okay. So they have the cutscenes that transition you into the battles, and so you're not just exploring endlessly and kind of wandering into a battle. They will kind of pull you into it through the story, that kind of thing. And I like that. I like that kind of more guided experience. It has some issues. Cool. I'm playing it on Game Pass with the Series X.
Okay.
It definitely has some weird stuttering going on. So I have a feeling they'll have some patches come out, but it's on Game Pass.
Are you streaming it?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not streaming it, just playing it outright. But it still was having some stuttering issues. And it's kind of those transitions when you're coming from that guided scene moment where they kind of take over control of the ship, and you're having that conversation, dialogue back and forth, and then they untransition into a dogfight.
Okay.
It has a little hiccup there.
Right.
And so again, I'm sure they will patch it. It'll be fine. But overall, the experience is fun. If you're looking for something to tide you over until Starfield gets here.
Yeah, you can see yourself sort of getting lost in the imagination of space.
Oh yeah,
and
so it definitely gives you some of what you're probably going to experience with Starfield, but it's really focused in on the ship side of it. The way it controls also, this is probably a good callback. There was a game called Descent way back when. It was you had your spaceship and you would fly around these kind of mining areas and you would have navigate corridors, that kind of thing. You get some of that in this game, especially in the opening tutorial section. You're kind of flying through and navigating some corners and openings of different controls. So it's good. I'm enjoying it, but it needs, I think, a couple patches to make it a much better experience than it is showing up right now.
Okay, cool.
Baldur's Gate 3. And this is actually going to be a short conversation. I've been going back and forth in my mind. Do I buy it? Do I not buy it? Do I buy it? Do I not buy it?
Just bring that up now.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is.
If you're going to ask, I bought it.
Oh.
I took the plunge. I picked up Baldur's Gate 3. I started to install on my PC, and my thinking here is it's cross-save, cross-progression on all platforms. And so while I know it's coming to the PS5 first in September, it's on PC now, and then it'll eventually come to the Xbox. I'm like, well, okay, maybe I will dabble and double dip on this. I don't know. But for now, for sure, it can be on my PC and it can be on my Steam Deck. Well, one thing I discovered with this game is that my graphics card on my PC currently is a little bit older. And I need to do some driver updates. So there's that. But it works on the Steam Deck. So I went to install it on the Steam Deck and instantly was like realizing I need to do some memory management on my Steam Deck because this game is 126 gigabytes. It's a big game. Now, I installed a SIM card, a 256 gig SIM card on my Steam Deck, but I hadn't really moved anything onto it. I didn't realize that until last
internal
night.
memory.
I'm going to install it. I'm like, crap. So I started moving stuff over, got everything moved over I needed to clear up because I wanted this to be on the main memory card internally on the deck. And so it started to download it. And I don't know what it is. And I'm sure Hardly Dan will be able to tell me, or Christopher Matthew, but on the Steam Deck, if you just put it in standby mode, it won't continue to download stuff. I thought it would. I thought it would work like the PS5 or the Xbox and just kind of download in the background. For whatever reason, it didn't do that. So I woke up, or I came back to it yesterday afternoon after thinking I had downloaded it during the course of the day, to it being like, nope, paused. It only 26% downloaded. So I proceeded to download the rest of it last night. I will say one thing I wish Valve would do, sorry, not Valve. Valve does a great job of this. Microsoft and Sony need to do a better job of this, is the bandwidth for downloading. My Steam Deck was downloading at over 200 gigabytes, a second, or megabytes per second, whereas the Xbox and I think the PlayStation 5 also tend to cap out around like 100. And it's a weird thing. I don't know why, but needless to say, I've downloaded it. I have it installed on my Steam Deck, so I can run it there. I plan to dabble in the character creation for hours, and eventually I'll have a character at some point in time next week.
So, okay, you're going to all shout at me for being such a dick here and ask this. Is Baldur's Gate 3 a brand new game, or is it a remake of...
Brand new game.
Brand new.
It is a game continuing the series of Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
So there's Baldur's Gate 1 and 2,
which are old.
Which you can play on Game Pass. I think they just actually brought that out on Game Pass, so you can play it there. But this is a brand new game, and honestly, it takes the series and really evolves it a lot.
Okay.
So it's a much more conversational, tactics-laden Baldur's Gate game compared to the previous two, which I would call a little bit more action RPG-ish, top-down kind of action RPG. So
yeah, I've seen that on the screen of the magic dice pumping up there. So that you would have in a role-playing game. Dan is saying yes, it's best to go to desktop mode and adjust the power settings so only the screen turns off after a few minutes while plugged in. Then just leave it downloading in desktop mode.
I knew if I said something, Dan would have.
He has the answers.
That's the answer. All right, perfect.
Answer. Oh, very good. Okay, well, excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to hear that.
So I'll have more to report on it, but it's been getting glowing reviews across the board, so I'm pretty excited for it.
Thanks talking to me all over the place. Okay, so right. I think we're going to transition.
Yep.
Okay, it's a newsy time then, and things that happen in the news. So,
yeah, there's some news stuff.
There is news stuff. Wow, look at this news. Excellent. So, I'm going to go into the news. And our first news story is all about Modern Warfare 3 is getting zombies back again. They're coming back. We all like a good zombie. Following an in-game Warzone event, a new trailer is fully unveiled, and I should have that trailer running right now, which Activision has been teasing both intentionally and unintentionally for some weeks. The game will be released on November the 10th. The game will release in several versions, including the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 cross-gen bundle, which includes the full game, early access to open beta, and the ability to play the game's campaign a week early. In a direct sequel to the record-breaking Modern Warfare 2, Captain Price and Task Force 141 face off against the ultimate threat. The ultra-nationalist Vladimir Makarov is extending his grasp across the world, causing Task Force 141 to fight like never before. Reads a description of the game's campaign. The game will also introduce what it calls open combat missions. Not only do these complement the cinematic missions you've come to expect, but they will also provide you with numerous additional choices regarding the methods of mission completion. It's also been confirmed that all 16 launch maps from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will feature in the game. These maps have been modernized, see what they did there, both graphically with meticulous attention given to authenticity and aspects of maps that made the game so popular. And this will be available on PC and Xbox only. So that's good.
Okay. No, Sony actually does have the marketing rights for this game. So this is going to be one of those funny things. The competition, the CMA, UK CMA, is expected to give their final ruling on the 29th of this month. So this will be, cross your fingers, resolved. And then we will have a Microsoft, Xbox, Sony exclusive. But the zombies was revealed through the trailer.
Yes.
when they showed off the trailer, so that was kind of cool. And I like that this is continuing with Modern Warfare 2 in it's a modern setting. So I'm actually pretty excited for this game. I know Pete's super jazzed. He loves the Call of Duty franchise, and in particular, he loves the zombie stuff. So I think this is
Yeah, well, it was the different studios. It was when Modern Warfare 2 didn't have zombies, and then when Zombies was introduced,
right?
It was the two different studios. One did zombies, and one
I think
didn't.
Treyarch is the one that usually
okay.
does the zombies. I could be wrong. I want to say it's Treyarch.
Okay, interesting.
Anyway,
okay, Tencent is bringing back a military first-person shooter series, Delta Force. Now defunct Delta Force creator Nova Logic released 9 series between 1998's original and 2009's Delta Force Extreme 2, but it went out of business in 2016 when its assets were acquired by THQ Nordic. They seem to have sucked up so many. Tencent has released a teaser trailer for the new series entry, which is viewable below, which is not because I don't have it on, ahead of the full reveal at Gamescom opening night on August 22nd. Producer Shadow Gule told
Sure.
told IGN that the game will feature a campaign mode based on the Ridley Scott movie Black Hawk Down and a large-scale PvP multiplayer offering.
sounds interesting.
Black Hawk Down.
I love the Black Hawk Down movie. Was fantastic, heart-wrenching, but fantastic. I'll be very curious about this game. We only have a couple days left before Gamescom, and we'll get that opening
Goodness,
night
that's
live
so
event,
soon, isn't it? That's absolutely
Yeah.
soon. Okay.
this week. Yeah.
Alan Wake 2. Wow. Release date has been pushed back to late October. Nearly as bad as the first game. Previously scheduled to launch on October the 17th, the game will now be released on October 27 for PS5, Xbox, PC via the Epic Games Store. October is an amazing month for game launches, and we hope this date shift gives more space for everyone to enjoy their favourite games, Remedy said. Well, hopefully Alan Wake 2, Alan Wake first one, you either loved it or hated it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, even though the premise and some of the story writing, Eric, was not fabulous. But it was still a good old romp, and I look forward to seeing what they do with Alan Wake 2 and whether there'll be good fun tractors in it or not, or whatever's going to go on there with them. So,
Yeah, Alan Wake was a great series, a great game. The fact that they're making the sequel, I'm excited to see what they do with the sequel. But Remedy's been a bit hit
patchy,
and miss.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm hoping they are going to rebound nicely with this game.
I'm not one of those. I mean, I don't like really scary games. There's video evidence of this.
Right.
But Alan Wake was scary enough to make the hairs again stand on the back of your neck. The what is my sweetie Bjar says, a vague sense of unease is the appropriate way to describe Alan Wake. You felt uneasy with it, and that was kind of fun. Goodbye, CP, and hello, Twitch. Oh, no, Twitch. Hello, Lord. Right, okay. And our next piece of news. Jeff Keighley says this year's Gamescom ONL is less about announcing new projects. Okay. Speaking ahead of the VGC, ahead of the August 22nd event, the host and producer said that the viewers should expect mostly updates on announced games planned to release over the next 12 months. It's going to be an exciting show with new looks at many announced upcoming games like Alan Wake 2, Black Myth of Wukong, and Keighley said this year's ONL is less about announcing brand new projects and more about giving fans updates on some of the biggest games due out over the next year. So he has nothing new.
This is absolutely
he's selling. He's selling it,
setting the stage. there's a part of me that's disappointed by this. Obviously, we were kind of hoping that maybe we would hear maybe from Sony or more from Microsoft. Nintendo, not so much. We don't really expect them here. Maybe some third-party publishers would be kind of treating Gamescom now as a de facto E3.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like that's happening. It sounds like this is really, as he's setting the table, he doesn't want people to have expectations that it's something that it's not. Okay. It makes me less excited to watch.
I know, but it's something nice to have an event of some description or other. And I still believe it's still the fallout from COVID. They're 2 years almost behind in development of some of this stuff and new ideas, and they have to make money somehow. So that's why we see a lot of remakes and tidy ups and re-releases and bundles, and that's just the way.
Indeed.
And finally, Netflix has launched a cloud gaming beta test on TVs, with computers to follow. A small number of subscribers in the UK and Canada can access the service, which is now available on select TVs and will come to PC and Mac in the coming weeks through Netflix website on supported browsers. The test supports 2 games. First party title Oxenfree, well, that's simple enough to stream, from Night School Studio, and a great game, by the way, and Molehill's gem mining arcade game mining adventure. These do not sound like they're going to be graphically intensive games, which is probably a very good thing. Players will use their smartphone as a controller to play games on TV, while members will be able to play using keyboard and mouse on PC and Mac. Supported devices for TV gaming include Amazon Fire TV, streaming media players, Chromecast, Google TV, LG TVs, Nvidia Shield, Roku devices, TV, Samsung Smart TVs, and Walmart ONN, with more to follow. So get down to your Walmart store and steal one now.
Yeah, don't go there. I don't know what to make of this, because Netflix getting, they've now, this is kind of the future we thought they might be going after, which is, they created these gaming divisions where kind of, well, it doesn't make much sense for Netflix to have a gaming service unless they're going to create a streaming service with it. Well, here we go. But the players use their smartphone as the controller to play the games on TV, while members will be able to use the keyboard and mouse on PC and Mac. God, the TV control just sounds horrible.
It does.
I wish they would have supported a Bluetooth connected gamepad or something.
Yeah. I suppose that's hard.
But maybe that's going to come as well.
I mean, I'm looking at the little list of games on my phone here of, and there are, the games that they have they're ad free, which is nice. It's not this paid play sort of stuff. And some of the original games, well, there's Solitaire, Sonic, 12 Minutes, which is something I know Pete really loved. World of Goo, Cut the Rope, Oxenfree is already there. So Exploding Kittens.
But I believe you play all of those games off you download them, if you will. You're not actually playing them on Netflix.
Ah, there you go.
So
the Queen's Gambit chess. There you go, Pete. Get your gingers on.
There you go. That'll become Pete's new jam.
Speaking of gingers, that new song that's out in America at the moment with the big ginger, the other sort of kicky song, that's a hell of a beard that man has. I was watching the video and I go, that guy's singing he's in the woods by himself there, and he's got this big, bright, dark ginger beard, but his hair is mousy brown sort of thing, but the beard is still big and ginger.
If you're not familiar, Robin is referencing a song from Oliver Anthony is the actual singer and songwriter. It's a song called "Rich Men North of Richmond," and it has definitely taken to the internets. It's been interesting to see the reaction to the song, because I think so many people can relate to just different elements in the song. And it's it's a song kind of railing against the direction of the world, so to speak.
Interesting, but I thought it's just this ginger beard.
Yeah.
And that's all.
It is quite the beard.
And that's what we have for the news. We have some new releases.
We do. I can take over, Ray. You were just talking a little bit, Robin.
Yeah.
So video game releases for the week of August 20th through the 26th. Doing my best Kim Woods impersonation. Okay, I'm not even going to try. But Fort Solis is coming to PlayStation 5, PC, and Mac on August 22nd. Immortals of Avum? Avum? I guess it's Avum. I'll go with Avum.
Okay.
Sure. I want to say Avenum, but it's not. It's Avum. That's on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Again, August 22nd. Also on the 22nd, Smurfs Kart.
That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, everybody should be looking forward to that. PlayStation 5, the Series X and S consoles, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So it is a cross-generation title, as is WrestleQuest. Also coming on the 22nd, that not only will come to every PlayStation or Xbox console, but also to the PC and the Nintendo Switch. And then Blasphemous 2. That'll be appearing the 24th of August on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, Switch, and PC.
I didn't do this. I'm reading this going, did I do this earlier?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Kim did this. I'm just gonna say it. Unpacking my pants on iOS and Android, August 24th. I don't know if it's a real thing or not, but I like it. Armored Core 6: Fires of the Rubicon. This is one I should be more excited for because this is all about giant mechs and fighting robots.
It's unpacking. Not unpacking my pants.
Yeah. PlayStation 5, Series XS, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, August 25th. That's probably the highlight game outside of Smurfs Kart, of course. And that's your new releases, Robin.
Oh, okay. And then we move straight in to this bit. And this bit is all about playing games live with people. And on Wednesday nights, Halo Night or Modern Warfare 2 or whatever it may be.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about this. We're like, we could play anything we want truly on Wednesdays. It just so happens it's been Halo, but we were talking about possibly doing some Rainbow Six Siege. Obviously Modern Warfare. So again, it's a Halo game night, or just think of it this multiplayer game night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
9
good.
p.m. ish, possibly 8 p.m. depending upon the scheduling. Just saying, in the UK, and usually we go for at least an hour. So
excellent. And on Thursday night, I will be hosting a round of a set of Corsa Competizione at the aforementioned Indianapolis. It'll be a 45-minute race. And if you go onto my YouTube channel, jump into our Discord, which you'll find the links for there, you're more than welcome to come along and join the fun. So that should be good for a laugh. And on Friday night then, over to Greg.
Yeah, PUBG, it's back. We've been doing some PUBG nights on Friday. Mark has surfaced for this multiple times in a row now, so it's been good. We actually had a good round of laugh. I didn't bring it up in the games I played earlier, but we did both Halo as well as PUBG. Well, I shouldn't say Halo. I actually couldn't play Halo this past week. Work got in the way. But PUBG happened. We got in some wins. It was good fun. We also got in some losses. It was not so much good fun. But there's just that formula, the PUBG formula. Fortnite has it as well. I was going to say, does Modern Warfare still have it? I feel like they've evolved that a little bit too much. Warzone a little bit too much to it. I don't feel like it has the same magic of PUBG.
Okay.
But it's there and we're still playing it. So
good. Well, you come and join us. There's lots of things going on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And of course, Kim is responsible for unpacking her pants.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. All right. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Robin, any shout outs you want to give? The country of Italy, do you owe an apology to them yet?
I don't think I stole anything or broke anything.
Did you put your mark anywhere?
No. I didn't.
No.
I didn't sign the drawers, no.
Wow.
Um,
You really must be feeling under the weather.
Yeah, I think I'm getting DTs of lack of alcohol or something like that there. That's what it is right now. Yeah, I haven't looked at... In fact, I had my email switched off. I had the app switched off that it didn't even show me how many emails are in there. Still haven't looked. All right. And so back to work tomorrow. Hopefully have a job to go to tomorrow. And yeah, back to that. So thank you. I'm not a brain surgeon, so no one died. Thank you very much, guys. You did your thing last week, and that was kind of cool. And I think I joined the chat rather worse for wear at one point. I slurred my text. Too much limoncello. Yeah, so just nice to be back. Nice to be doing here. And watch Pete's video. Watch his Pete the Tiller with no titties or something. It's about his longboat. The latest episode is there. Watch it. That's great to see that coming along. And to all my bongos, I'm sorry. I was away for almost 2 weeks, and you just fucking killed the place. Seriously. And I'm looking forward. I'm going to switch on the computer now and drive for 3/4 of an hour. I'm very tired tonight. I am buggered. I need to get to bed. Yeah. But I'm going to drop in and say hi because it's been almost 2 weeks now since I've been in my rig. So, but lots of exciting stuff coming on there. So watch this space.
All right.
So,
well, Robin, shout out to you. Thank you for making the show. Welcome back.
Thank you
to the homeland. I will shout out my wife. She has been dealing with all kinds of stuff, family related, but she's awesome. And so shout out to her. Shout out to the community. Yep. Thank you all for the chat was great.
Yep.
Lord was in there. CPM Matthew was in there. Hardly Dan's in there with bad takes on music. We had Kim. We had Boomer. Just kidding. Yeah. Shout out to everybody.
Brilliant.
Thanks. Come back again next Sunday. We'll be here.
Yeah, we will. See you guys. All the best. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.